Jose?
Yes,
Nothing.
he always does that to me.
No, wait, Jose. What does success mean to you?
It's interesting that you asked that question. I was having a similar conversation with a friend the other day, and he said that success was defined by money. The more money you make, the more successful you are. And that really clashed with what I think success is.
That's funny you should say that, because I'm looking at social media here, and anything related to success has usually got pictures of guys leaning up against a Ferrari or big dollar signs, and I don't find that aspirational. And I think that social media's got a really narrow definition of what success is. And we're constantly bombarded with those images. I wonder how that affects people.
Why don't we start by looking at what Google says that success is?
Always Google.
Well, Google says that success is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose.
Okay, well, the word that's jumping out for me there is purpose, because a lot of people I know, when you ask them what their purpose is, they don't really know. And if we don't know what our purpose is, how can we ever really authentically achieve success?
That sounds like a good subject for our next video, or maybe a series of videos.
Yeah, good idea. What were you thinking we could cover on that?
Well, to start with, how to find your own definition of success.
Okay, yeah, we could give some tools on how to do that as well.
Yeah, and maybe change that perception that most people have of what success is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to be a robot designer.
I want to be a marine biologist.
I want to
Children
be an
dream big,
industrial
but as we grow,
analyst.
something happens and we lose sight of our passions and our purpose. Everyone has a unique definition of success. Follow us on our discovery to redefine what it means to feel successful for you.
I was working in one of the top global law firms. I'd been there about 4 or 5 years. And one afternoon I bumped into a colleague and asked, hey, how's it going? His reply, SSDD. What on earth does that mean? He said, same shit, different day. I kind of laughed that off and walked off, but it wasn't until about an hour later that hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized that I didn't have 5 years experience there. I had 1 year experience, 5 times repeated. And that didn't work for me.
Throughout my career, there were several moments when I thought I was successful. I had my own company for several years, and that company became successful in itself. Then I moved on to work for a large corporation at a leadership level in charge of a big team. That gave me a lot of credibility in my sector, which led to me speaking at international conferences. So look at me. I was traveling around the world in charge of a big team at a large corporation, speaking at international conferences. It all felt like success. But something didn't really click. Something wasn't right.
Well, one of the things that became quite obvious was I didn't enjoy that kind of routine and repetitive work. And I thought, well, what else is it that I'm not enjoying? So I took some time out from a busy role to reflect and plan on this. And so I took a piece of paper and I put 3 boxes. The first box lists all the things that I really didn't enjoy about work. They drained my energy. That middle box, things that I was kind of indifferent about, I could take or leave them. And that third box, what are the things I really enjoy? They energize me. When they're in my calendar, I'm excited about the day ahead. What was funny to me was that first box was really easy to fill up. I started filling it up with loads of stuff about bullshit meetings, lack of sense of purpose, routine tasks, doing stuff that seems pointless. It was more difficult to fill up that box about what I enjoyed. But I was beginning to see themes in there about autonomy, opportunity to express myself creatively, and working towards some kind of sense of purpose, some longer term goal. So this all added up to me that I need to make some kind of change. And I was looking for that change to be a move outside of the organization, but financial security has always been really important to me. And I was a bit nervous, a bit scared about stepping away from that reliable paycheck that I had. So what I needed to do was do some financial planning. So let's have a look at how I managed to plan the financial aspect of making that change.
I was fortunate enough to have a friend that was an executive coach. And this is a reminder of how important it is to build your network. This friend recognized the situation that I was in, and he offered to sit down with me and analyze it. And by doing so, we saw that there were several areas that were very important for my own self-fulfillment that were not being covered. Some of them were my biggest hobbies: travel and photography. I did not have time to travel for pleasure, nor to take pictures. Another area was that I did not have time to develop my own entrepreneurial ideas, and they were very important to me. So once we saw this, we had a better picture of what my success looked like, and it was time to make a plan. So let me show you next how to make a plan.
So this financial planning was really important to me, and for me this called for an Excel spreadsheet, and I started by putting my salary in there, broken down by each week. And then I put 3 columns, one of the essential outgoings, the expenditure which was non-negotiable, things like rent or mortgage and fixed bills. Then I had a second column of the things that I really kind of quite like to hold on to sustain the lifestyle that I enjoy. And I had a third column of those luxuries that you could kind of give or take. And what this showed for me is how much disposable income I had each week. Helpful because when I was looking at alternative jobs, I could see if my salary went down, was that enough for me to keep my head above water? And this was great for me because it was changing it, making a shift from not being about how much money I can possibly make, but more about how much money I need in order to make a change to move towards my own success. And what this did was it gave a laser-like focus for developing a business plan. For me, I wanted to set up my own business, and now I had real clarity as to how much money I needed to generate each month in order to keep my head above water.
The first thing that my friend helped me with was to break the goals into more manageable ones. So instead of asking me, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? He said, where do you want to be in 1 year time? And we use a tool that I like a lot, flip charts. We took 12 flip charts, each of them representing each month of the plan, with the final one being the final goal. And there's something really good about flip charts because they're big, they're bold, they're in your face, but also you see everything very clearly. And one of the things that we saw was that I needed to create more time and space. And in order to do that, I had to push back on silly meetings. I had to stop working extra hours on things that were not necessary. And I had to make sure that I could create that time and space in order to work on this plan. The second thing we saw is that although people were networking with me, I was not networking with the people that could help me support this plan. And every month, whenever I achieved the goals, we would take that flip chart and rip it and throw it away. And there was something really energizing when you see yourself moving closer, physically closer to your final goal. So my advice for this is A, make sure that you create the time and space to work on this plan. B, make sure you make this plan with somebody so you feel accountable for it. And C, make sure you network with the people that are going to support this plan. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope you find useful these tips on how to plan for your success.
What about purpose? A lot of people I know don't know what their purpose is, so how can they plan for it?
Yeah, actually, you're right, and that can be the subject for our next video. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and watch our next video on how to define or find your purpose. Thank you very much for watching.